So this, people, is me writing the book of life. No, I'm playing. You know what the book of life, they call it the good book, the Holy Bible. I don't know who too many people that lived up to reading, but that's neither here nor there. So I wrote up a plan moons ago, and I said to myself, I needed to go find some old school stuff so I could teach some people. Remember, this is an educational business. If you go to our Instagram, one of the top things that's highlighted is education. So I said, I gotta go find old school blood with an emphasis on some heavy line breeding, which means it was done correct and incorrect, but correct, because you were going to secure consistency in a litter, but with it you were going to run the risk. So what did I find? Gotti with an eye. And so I bought Baloo for $7,000. That's how much I bought Baloo for, the little pocket dog that we have. He was $7,000. Found a female, Zara. Got her for $2,700. I told the guy, shout out to Authentic Bulls, I said, man, you don't know what you do with the dogs. And then it cost me $400 for shipping. I'm giving you some perspective on numbers. Shipping, I don't know why I put that at the end. $400 for shipping. I had a buddy named Ronnie. Ronnie originally was supposed to help assist in the things that we're doing. And some things came up. He couldn't get the dog, but he had found a dog we call Maya. Maya's our little plumpkin. But I also will do an episode probably right after this to showing you the difference. And I'll actually go into great detail about how ownership and understanding of a dog actually matters. So we bought Maya, and shout out to my homeboy Rich, because I just got Zara, and I was like, man, I ain't got no more money to be spending on another dog. Now these two dogs came first, and then the boys came. So off top, we're over $4,000 in off top. Now I've got to wait 2 years for this to even work. Okay, 2 years for this to even work. At least a year and a half, up to the third heat. And Maya has bulldog influence, so I knew. He asked any of the kennel partners. I said, hey, she's going to run me some problems. Watch. Zara has more of the terrier influence. She's been super healthy for the most part. Excuse me, still getting over some sickness. And done exactly what I need her to do every time. Now with the bulldogs at times, and it's not all of them to be clear, there are more risks that come with getting pregnant. And a lot of other issues. Brachycephalic, soft palates, all this stuff. Elongated soft palates, more risk in my opinion. And also, realistically, cleft palates, what else? Soft palates, cleft lip. This is more common in the bulldogs, not the pit bulls, to say the least. And remember that all bullies are iterations. In some degree, they wanted a pit bull on steroids. That was the original statement. Now a lot has changed because now they're just trying to put a pit bull's head on a bulldog. And I don't breed bulldogs. I don't want bulldogs. I'm not interested in bulldogs. I don't want the bulldog problems. I don't want to spend all the money we spend doing what we're doing to teach, educate, to learn, to live, to compete with ourselves, no one else, to deal with the bulldog crap. I'm just not interested in it. So after that, I said, let me find a dog that I like. I know everybody's against Bossy. No, I'm playing. Not everybody. Some people love Bossy. Here's the thing. You're never going to outdo her. But I had followed a dog that was on the page for some time named Hotshot. And Hotshot came down. He was a Victoria's Secret son. I believe Victoria's Secret only ever had 3 kids. Hotshot stud fee. So let's put Hotshot on here. $3,500. My kennel partners, they paid for the first stud fee. And that right there, we took to Maya. Now the challenge is, Maya didn't take the first time. So you pay $3,500. Then you have to pay for the shipping of the semen. That's $250. I said, hey, my vet doesn't like the morphology, doesn't like the motility, doesn't like, says it's not enough. What would it take to get that another set of semen out? And the guy said, my buddy Justice said my vet couldn't do it today anyway, and if it did, it would cost you $1,000 to get the semen shipped. You go, wow, that'd have been another $1,000, which put me at $4,500 plus, the shipping. You go, okay, so mine didn't take. You find out 30 days later that the dog didn't take. You're disappointed, man. You're disappointed, but it is what it is. Now, Zara technically was supposed to go to Hotshot first, but I then said, everybody's excited about this Merle gene, and now I know that the Merle gene is going to normalize. Market's going to normalize. People are going to get over it, but the price point will still be there, be reasonable. But instead of focusing on how many Merle litters can I have to get paid, let's focus on pouring into a male, putting the quality where it needs to be, the quality, like taking the dog to the next step, making sure he can function, he's competitive, all this other stuff. So from a business standpoint, I said her first litter has to be with Earl the Merle. Shout out to my buddy over there at Cornerstone Bulls. Now I was sitting on my friend's couch, and I was debating this because his stuff, he was it $3K? I think it was $3,000. Maybe that's what it was. And he said, I'm running the deal to the end of the night, $1,500. And I don't have a lot of money at this time. I ain't been shooting or doing too much. And I said, man, I'm literally like, do I send him this money and hit him up? So I hit Chris up. And I said, hey man, I think I'm gonna do the lock-in, alright? He's like, alright, bet. So he's at a Christmas party. And he comes out to the car. I'm gonna call you. I said, yo, cash snap you to 15. He gets 15. I said, bet. And in my head I'm thinking, man, I hope this is good, man. Because mind you, I come from the old school ways. I know where everybody and their mama's at. When it comes to these dogs, this dude was all the way in Cleveland. Or Cincinnati. One or the other. He's out there in Ohio. So that's $1,500 here. Look at these numbers, man. They is adding up. I'm going to run a calculator here soon and just show you all this stuff. So $1,500. And then we drive to Memphis. Get a hotel room. I forget I'm supposed to shoot a fashion show the next day. I drive. How far is it to Memphis from here? Let's just look it up. Memphis. So I drive to Memphis, Tennessee. 6 hours. 6 hours and 47 minutes. And I'm like, I'm gonna come out here. So we meet up. We drive to Memphis and get the hotel. Boom, boom, boom. Guys, if you don't know this, the Marriott has sister hotels that allow you to stay with no breed restrictions in any, long as it's an affiliate or a Marriott, you can stay there. So you ain't got to sleep staying in La Quintas. So we get there, we do two AIs, one at night, one in the morning. We're supposed to be there for 3 days, but 48 hours, 72 hours tops. And I get a call from the guy who was like, hey, you ready to shoot? I said, yeah, man, I'll see you Saturday. He goes, Saturday? He was like, man, it's tomorrow. I go, so now in roughly 24 hours, I've driven 12 hours and slept barely none. And then to walk, somebody had to bring me my clothes, take the dogs, and I had to walk right into a fashion show and shoot this whole thing. And Zara took. So we have a litter, 5 pups. We have a litter of 5 pups. Everything goes good. Now we have Ego. And I keep Ego, right? And I say $300,000. And that's not the amount of money we're going to make off of Ego, to be clear. I have no interest and he's never going to be studded to anybody, and I'm clear about that now. Originally, I said there'd be 3 people who I might allow him to be studded. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And Tron, I already been clear, nobody ever gets to use Tron. But I said, Eagle's going to help me change the world. He's going to be the start of really making me change the world, helping me change the world. Because for whatever reason, people keep looking past the females like they don't matter. And trust me, Eagle's as good as he is, respectfully, because of Zara. That's it, that's all. So from a business standpoint, I've got Baloo up here. Remember, I bought this little pocket rocket. Yeah, but he ain't a rocket. He's just a pocket who can't do nothing. And I go, you from a business, right? I'm like, this gotta go to this so I can create this, so I can work through this Merle, to be clear, so I can build this superb Merle in the future, and that's still 5 years away. And then Maya, she's got to go to Hotshot because he's a clean dog. He's an XL dog. He's a beautiful dog. And because she didn't take this time, I got to drive to Kansas City now. So Kansas City is about 8 hours away. In about 48 hours roughly, I went to KC and back. Less than 40. I was like, ooh, I'm out of there. I'm going. I went in there, did what we need to do, and we dipped. But I still have to pay for the doctor's visit. They wanted to do a progesterone test. So it's only $38. You start adding this stuff up, it just keeps costing more and more money. Now we still got to pray that Maya takes this time. And she does. So we get 2 pups. 4 pups died. And we won't say they died. They all had cleft palates, or they have cleft palates and cleft lips. And it's just not a good life for a dog. So doctor, I said, no, we can't do anything. So we got 2 pups. So there wasn't even no, like, it ain't about profit at this point, because I know we'll see Red for 5 years. We got 2 dogs. We didn't get to break even. We didn't get the money back. It was $2,200 for the C-section, all the other stuff that you get done. All that. Plus the care, things that don't even factor in, because it's a choice you make when you take on a life. So now here we are, roughly, and this all started in 2019. Here we are now going into 2023. And I have to make another executive decision, because technically Zara's next litter should have been the Hotshot. And trust me, if we had did the Hotshot litter, there wouldn't have been 1 puppy left. It would have been a lot easier. But we have our processes, and I'm not even out there like, hey, tap in right now, we got puppies. I'm just like, you see the work that we're doing. People say, hey, you got a dog? Hey, I like that dog. I like that dog. Is that dog available? And eventually the dogs got worked out. They're like, oh, that's it. That's all. But because I understood that this right here is problematic. Problematic means this, to be clear. When you start dealing with old school guiding, especially with the heavy influence of Dax, you know, they want to lie about the bulldog. Now we know the bulldog's in there, especially now beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh, Ruben, my man. So as I was saying, we had a Ruben intermission. Those are always great, to be clear. And he knows how to find stuff quick. So even with him seeing the live, he's like, hey, here's his detection and measurement of alpha amylase and canine saliva. It's a whole nother thing. So at anywho, so I now say, hey, we've got this gaudy stuff that we've got to work through, and I know that it's problematic. And the problem isn't the fact that we don't know what's in it. We know that there's bulldog. We know that there's this. We know that there's that. It's the fact that they only highlight the good. And the good is fine, but 9 out of 10 people do not like king tails. People like a dog that has a full tail, unless you're doing the exotic thing, which is fine. Exotics are here, so make sure you guys are, breeding to the best of your ability and taking care of those dogs. But if you breed 2 bullies, you don't expect to get not full tails or king tails. Now, king tail is a flaw, not a defect. A defect impacts the dog's quality of life. Flaw is something we don't aesthetically like. And that doesn't mean that every dog in the next litter is going to have king tails or full tails, to be clear. But I knew we had to work through the crap, so I skipped Hotshot and Zara this time after she went to Earl the Merle, so that I could go to Baloo and work through his crap. Because we had to do what? Take a step back so we could take another step forward, which is why I told the team 2023 is a foundation year. We got to work through all of our crap, build our foundation, etc., and then kind of go from there. See what I'm saying? It's got to be strategic, because again, we're breeding for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And it's going to take some while to deal with all the stuff that's been done. It's going to take us 5 to really get started. And that's me working through all the crap. because nobody's breeding to perfection. There's no standard of breeding. You see that? And if you go back and you look at French ring, Mandarin, I believe even some PSA, but some of the old Shetland and stuff, the top 2 best dogs would breed to make better dogs. That's not how the bully works. The bully says, hey, I got these 2 colors, these 2 dogs. Look at these dogs. $30,000 a dog. Mess with me. You go, okay, man, calm down. What can the dog do? Oh, it can't do nothing. You keep them dogs, man. That ain't my thing. We breed for performance. So even people like, guy messaged me last night. He said, hey, man, I really want to get a dog from me. I said, hey, man, you might be better off getting it from somebody else. He said, well, please. He said, did you see that? He sent me, did you see my dog? I said, nah, man, I didn't. And then he said, well, look, man, I just think if I got one from you, man, they'd make some good colors. I said, listen, man, I don't breed for colors. We have all the colors. I understand from a business point why it's important to make sure we dot all our I's and cross all our T's and not be one note. Even a guy messaged me the other day. He said, how do you feel about Brindle? What are you asking, my friend? I feel fine. If that's your dog, then love and take care of it. But would you ever breed Brindle? I said, in our 5-year plan. That's where the corporate, you got to get corporate with people, right? Because he wants me to say that Brindles are bad. If Brindle's your thing, breed Brindle. In our 5-year plan, we don't have that in any one of our dogs. And so it's not going to come up. And because I have my formula now, I'll never need to reach out at this moment in time. Never say never. But I'll never need to reach out and get another dog. And I won't look and be like, oh, you know, boom. But let me be very clear in saying this. There's a guy that has a dog named Groot. Old school Razor's Edge. I can't think of his name right now. But he's a Brindle solid boy. And I would use that dog because structurally how he is. But then you ask him, I say, can I see a couple more sides? He says, well, he's a little easty west. He goes, that's why you always got the feet in the grass. But I would just give him a hard time. I think it's Vargas. That's what it is, Vargas. So shout out to him and Groot over there. But the dog's gorgeous. He is, I mean, he's a, you know, whoo! I like that dog a lot. But I don't need to reach out anymore and get dogs that we don't need. So, but they're like, it's like this. For those that are biblical, you bring the woman to Jesus in John chapter 8. She's been caught in the act of adultery. Some of y'all want somebody to tell you that you're wrong. Some of y'all want somebody to tell you right. When you have a plan, you have somebody like me who can offer success in a sense because I understand the big picture while also understanding the importance of suffering early on. You go, I could have done these 3 things first and set aside some profits to win, or I could have got over the suffering to succeed. Suffering early, suffered in the beginning, and been successful in the future. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys understand that. If I suffered the first 4 to 5 years to set up the next 20, we'll be okay. And the next 20 requires even more work than the first few, but I got to work through the crap first. But if I did it because I got these dogs, it's like, do you guys know what you're up against when you're trying to breed dogs? Because they're not trying to breed better dogs. They're not trying to breed better dogs. There's nowhere to even take your bully to see who's the best dog. And if it's a show and y'all doing this, that's it. Now, mind you, I come from a performance, game background, all that stuff. So I don't ever want a dog that I'm looking at. The dog need to be able to do something. And that's it. That's all. So, to be clear, Baludazar, we got 3 or 4 kingtails? 3? At least 3. 3 kingtails, 7 pups. I believe it was 4. And the irony is, the 2 kings sold. And Tut's still hanging on. And he's a gorgeous dog. I think he's a creeper. He's going to be one that creeps up. But people want the XLs now too. Our next 2 breedings will be XLs. But when you're looking at this plan, and just this right here. Now this number here means nothing because that's personal for me. That's my own personal goal. But let me just do some light math for you. Just so you can see. Because already we got 7,000 plus 2,700 plus 400 plus 1,350 plus 3,500 plus 250 plus 1,500 plus 4,000 plus 4. So that's $20,000 alone. Just in producing a few dogs. And the one thing that you don't see on here after all these numbers is the C-sections. And those are 2,200 a piece. No less than 15 if you really know what you're doing. Not including progesterone tests, which are $93. You can get them done for as low as $38 if you know somebody or if you own the machine. I didn't even include all 369 about 12 progesterone tests that we got. Zara's had 2 C-sections. Both were done at $2,000. Oh, my bad. She had one done at $2,200, the other one done at $15. Maya had one done at $22. So technically we've had more. It would be more. So it'd be about 20, and that's not including all the dogs that this is just including the dogs we bought. And let's not forget, I forgot that I bought Tron. So Tron, he was $12,000 plus 3 to ship from the UK. So we're looking at 15 here. For that chocolate boy that y'all like out there so much, that people are in love with. So this is just investment, right? We ain't even talking about the puppies that we didn't make no money on. But that 15 puts us over $35,000 in investments. Oh, I forgot I own Gia. Gia. That's $8,000. Well, look, we're getting close to 40, roughly about 50. Oh, and I forgot I own Asha. She's a Frenchie. $11,500. Who told you was gonna get rich doing this? Stop it. You forget very quickly how much it all costs you, because people are counting what you're spending and I'm counting the opportunity. It's two different things, people. It's two different things. So one thing I want to do is make sure that you guys write a plan up. Find you a good leader. Stick to the plan. Execute that plan like your life depends on it. If you have questions, I said this before, message me on Instagram. I can better assist there. And I will do longer format videos on YouTube to invite you into a better understanding of what you may be up against. And I'll go down a whole rabbit hole to help you make sure that you're successful to the best of my ability. I built businesses, and roughly in 3 months, we've done some things I don't think the average person could do. And no disrespect to average people, but I just don't think other people could do it. But I see the opportunity, and so we're seizing the opportunity to better the world of dogs and humans and people who are wanting to do more for their pets. So at this moment in time, stay tuned, take care of your dogs, keep asking yourself the truth, keep living for the truth. Don't lie to yourself or lie about what you're really up against. And like, subscribe, and share, people, and thank you for watching.